Our topic is about the sentence correction. So sentence correction, it is a group of words with a subject and a predicate and expresses an idea. So a sentence must have a noun phrase that is the subject and a verb phrase that tells something about the subject. A verb phrase may express an action, thought, or a feeling. So when two or more complete thoughts are to be expressed in a sentence, so there are different ways of combining ideas. So the example, the Philippines is a country in Asia. So it is a independent clause. The Philippines is a group of islands. So how can we combine these two sentences? So number one, there are four options. So number one, use a phrase. So the Philippines, comma, country in Asia, comma, is a group of islands. So that how can we combine two sentences? So the Philippines, country in Asia, is a group of islands. So option 2, the Philippines, which is country in Asia, is a group of islands. So the Philippines, comma, which is a country in Asia, comma, is a group of islands. So option 3, number 2, that what we call using a relative clause. So which the Philippines, comma, which is a country in Asia, comma, is a group of islands. So option 3 is by using a conjunction to form a compound sentence. So conjunction, by using conjunction to form a compound sentence. So the Philippines is a country in Asia, and is coordinating conjunction. And it is a group of islands. So there's no comma anymore because there's a conjunction and. So next is option 4. Use two sentences in correct punctuations. So the Philippines is a country in Asia, period, because it is an independent clause. We do not need comma in this sentence. It is a group of islands, period. So there are two independent clauses. So let's proceed to sentence structure. So sample sentence. So a sample sentence contains one independent clause. So a simple sentence has one independent or contains one independent clause. So one only independent clause, that's what we call simple sentence. So it has a subject and a verb and can express a complete thought. So example, Melissa loves to swim. So Melissa loves to swim. So a simple sentence, there's one subject and there's one predicate. So the sentence has a simple structure with just a subject and a verb and an object, but it expresses a complete thought. Although it is simple or it is a short sentence, but it has a complete thought. It expresses a complete thought. So another sample, I understand. So why? I understand, I and understand. So there are only two words. So why it is a simple sentence? Because this may seem short, but it is an independent clause. So joined together by a conjunction or a semicolon, which expresses a complete thought with just one subject and one verb. So It explains a complete thought. So next structure of a sentence is compound sentence. So what is compound sentence? So compound sentence is a sentence with two independent clauses joined together by a conjunction or a semicolon. So each clause can form a simple sentences alone. Example: Selena has long to-do list, but she chose to sleep instead. There are two conjunctions, or there are two sentences combined with a conjunction but. So Selena's long to-do list, one sentence. She chose to sleep instead, another sentence. So independent clause. So the conjunction but join two independent clauses together on their own. Each clause can stand alone. So independent sentence. So Selena has long to-do list and she chose to sleep instead. So in the example, she oversleeps, semicolon, she missed the deadline for her paper. So there are two independent clauses. She overslept and she missed the deadline for her paper. So the two clauses are not joined by any conjunct, but with a semicolon to form one sentence. So there's punctuation, semicolon. We use semicolon if two sentences are independent clauses. So it's wrong if it is, or if we use period, we use comma. That's what we call the comma splice. So another structure is the complex sentence. So complex sentence, the sentence is composed of at least one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. So dependent clause does not express a complete thought and cannot form a sentence alone. If a sentence begins with a dependent clause, a comma must follow this clause. So if a sentence is a dependent, so followed by a comma. Example: although he finished his paper, comma, Henry still needs to work in his diorama. So although he finished his paper is as dependent clause. So we need to use comma. Henry still needs to work in his diorama is an independent clause. So the sentence may be divided into two clauses, the dependent clause and the independent clause. So although he finished his paper is the dependent clause. Note that the comma which follow the clause and that on its own, the clause can form a complete sentence. Henry still needs to work on his diorama is the dependent or an independent clause rather. So another example: Caesar jumped in fear after he heard the dog bark. So the sentence has two clauses. Caesar jumped in fear is the independent clause, and after he heard the dog bark is the dependent clause, as it cannot express a complete thought on his own. The last structure of a sentence is the compound complex sentence structure. So what is this structure? So this sentence is composed of at least two independent clauses and at least one dependent clause. For example, Abby finished writing her thesis, comma, but she failed the thesis defense even if she practiced for it for an entire week. So there are two independent clauses joined by the conjunction but. So Abby finished writing her thesis, independent clause, and she failed the thesis defense, another independent clause. So the sentence continues to a dependent clause even if she practiced for it for an entire week. So that is a dependent clause. So another is the Jason left it. Another example: Jason left his job after getting shouted at in public, yet he remained friends with his old boss. So the sentence is two independent clause. So Jason left his job and he remained friends with his old boss. So So the defeat comes after getting shouted is replaced in the middle of the sentence. So that's all for this thing. Thank you for everyone.